Holy crap. Bro, I pulled out a live worm. That was about that big. Wow. Ooh, that's a smooth. Oh, that's smooth.
A big thank you to our sponsors for making this show possible.
Joining the Fred Minnick Show, presented by BAXUS, someone I'm a big fan of, Carlos Mencia. Great to see you, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, brother.
I've been following your career, watching you. Used to watch a special. You were truly one of the most iconic comedians of when I was watching comedy. Comedy's so different today.
You know what's funny? I'm edgier today, believe it or not, than I have ever been before. But that's only because I'm like the guy that's been doing this type of comedy for so long. I'm not disturbed by the new quote unquote supposed rules, because I've been doing this type of comedy since 1988. So it's not hard for me to do jokes about, stuff that supposedly can't be done. And plus, I'm not coming from a negative place. And so all of those things put together, yeah, they create for me to be honest and say to you that I've never been better than I am right now. If you take into account the intellect, the subtext, the layers, the performances, the material, all of it is just on a different level. And I'm loving this time in comedy. Loving it.
Well, it's great. It's great to celebrate your career right here on the show. And you've got 5 pours in front of you. You've got an everyday pour, a special occasion pour. You got a big milestone. You've got what we call a BAXUS, something that came from my sponsor BAXUS, that, they have a vault with all these super rare whiskeys. Then you have a 46-year-old Scotch. But we're going to start with the everyday pour. Now, this is a pour that you can find in most parts of the country. This is Woodinville. So this is the standard Woodinville. It's going to be 90 proof, and it's going to be under $40. It's going to be distributed through most of the country, and it's a fantastic bourbon to have after work or just hanging with your buddies.
Ooh, nice little nasal aftertaste. Wow. That wasabi'd me a little bit. That's nice.
You got the little wasabi thing with your nose that happens?
Yeah. Normally that doesn't happen. It does something weird that I've never really had before. It almost kind of dissipates really quickly and kind of goes to my nose for some reason. I don't know what it is.
So this is, I picked this one to start off with because to me it's the kind of pour that I would use to like wind down after like a long day, something that I could rely on all the time.
That's my cigar pull. Yeah, for me, if the smoking a cigar with this specific one would go really well.
So what would you normally wind down with after a show, after making hundreds of thousands of people laugh on stage?
It depends, right? I love doing karaoke. I love doing karaoke afterwards because it keeps my voice warm, right? It allows my voice to kind of stay loose for the shows that I'm going to do later. And it allows me to kind of still get a little bit of, attention afterwards, and still be around people and not miss it. The next time anybody goes to a comedy show, just before the show starts, nobody's on stage. Just look at how vacant it is, how empty it is, how there's nothing there. And then they're going to say the name of a comedian, and then that stage is going to explode with noise and voices and comedy and all of the stuff, and it's all created from nothing. Having all of that come at you, all of the attention, the love, the laughter, all of it, and then it just going away, right? The minute, say goodnight, get off stage, take pictures, and then it's literally nobody's there. And so being able to smoke a cigar later to bring it down, or go do some karaoke to bring it down. This, if I took a shot of this before I went on stage, I'd be like, for a little bit, because there's a richness to it because of the, I don't know, maybe in the cedar that they do or whatever it is that kind of stays with you. So this is more of a chill spot than it is a, hey, let's keep this party going spot. Yeah. like a nightcap. You're right.
So now we have the special occasion. So this is a bourbon that you're breaking out for a graduation. You hit like a birthday, an anniversary, something that's special to you. Now this is an allocated product. It's harder to get, and the price on it will range from $100 to, like, I've seen it as much as $400. But it is a 10-year-old from Michter's.
This really nice nose. Really nice. Oh, wow. Wow. That is dangerous, bro. Oh, that's good. Oh, man, it's smooth. It hit me once, then twice, then an aftertaste. And then it just slowly goes away, but I can still taste it. Man, that's good. Jesus is good.
So I mentioned that this is like a birthday celebration bourbon, right? So someone's having a birthday. If you brought this out for your family, that bottle will go quick. You have a lot of birthdays. You have a big family.
So I have 11 sisters and 6. God, that's good. Jeez, that's good. When I was a kid, we grew up in, there were parts of the time when I grew up in Honduras and Mexico. But in Honduras specifically, they make this thing called, the translation is almost firewater. It's okay? Agua ardiente. That stuff that my dad would buy back in the day, it was called aguardiente, and we call it guaro. This is how much alcohol it had and how they never tried to make it sweet. It was literally men would come and take a shot and just be like, oh. That stuff was so hardcore because we were out in the middle of nowhere and the water was pumped out from the ground. There were microorganisms in it, and you would get, tapeworms and, worms in your stomach and stuff like that. So you either did one of two things. Number one, you could buy some medicine and, it'll destroy them, and then eventually they'll come out, blah, blah, blah. Or you get a liter of guaro, put garlic cloves in it, let it marinate for about a week, and then for 1 week, take just one shot every day, and by the 7th day, they're all dead and out. Like, that's how bad that stuff is. And this stuff has none of that. No aftertaste, no bitterness, no tinge, no anything. And bro, I mean, not to get gross, but of course I went through the treatment when I was a kid, drank the cloves, did the whole thing. And one day I'm in school and I gotta go to the bathroom. I felt like, oh my God, I didn't even realize something came out. So I went to the bathroom to, try to clean myself up, and there was nothing there. And I went, wait a minute, but it feels like there's something there. So I got the toilet paper and I pinched what I thought might be there. And bro, I pulled out a live worm that was about that big out of myself.
Wow.
It was one of those moments where not only gross, but it's part of the reason why if you come to see me perform and you go, man, Carlos Mencia loves America. Like, why? And it's like, one of the things is in America, I would have went, they would have given me medication. It would have been all done. And I wouldn't be pulling stuff out of myself because of some remedy that my great-great-grandmother thought of, because whatever it is. And so all of those things lead to the creative process, right? As artists, we always come from that creative place. My father's favorite thing to say to people when they go, you guys had 18 kids? My father's favorite thing to say is, yeah, his mother never had periods. She just had people. And and everybody laughs. And it's,
The next pour we have for you is a 16-year-old Calumet Farms bourbon. And that is definitely going to be something that will rival what you just had, but you may like the other one more. I don't know. I'm curious to see your thoughts here when you do your comparison.
This one's a little, not as smooth, has a little kick to it. Oh, there's a little bit of aftertaste. Kind of went away, then came back a little bit. It's definitely not as savory, but it's got a unique sweetness to it.
This one reminds me of like some of the hard candies that you would get at the drugstore. Like there's a little herbalness and some sweetness there.
Yeah, there is. I love the aftertaste of the second one way more than the other two.
So one thing that's really interesting about your career, you did something that was when you transitioned from doing stand-up to having your own TV show, there was not a lot of comedians who had kind of done that avenue. And I was curious, being one of the early trendsetters for, laying that out as a career, what was that bridge like?
You know what's funny? I have a very hard time looking back at my career in moments like that, or even being in those moments, believe it or not. When people say to me, man, at one point in time, you were like the comedian, I was like, I never felt that, because my cockiness, arrogance, whatever you want to call it, self-assuredness, it ends when I get off stage. I have been in my career so much about giving myself to the moment, giving myself to whatever I'm doing, being there 100%, that, believe it or not, I didn't see a lot of that stuff. I didn't feel it. Those bridges that you're talking about, the adversities that you're saying, for me, it was just normal. It was just the way it is. It's just how things are in life.
Well, thank you for sharing. The next two that we have here are incredibly hard to get, super expensive, and we're going into a different direction. We're now going into Scotch.
Oh, I love Scotch.
You can get both of these on BAXUS, BAXUS.co. You can go there. They have like all kinds of vintage spirits. They're very incredibly well priced, and you can see how they sold in the past, but they have all kinds of rare stuff there. That's where you can get this stuff. So anyone listening, viewing, go check out BAXUS.co. The next one for you is a Longmorn 22-year-old single malt. And this is, the price on this varies between $400 and $600.
Smells delicious. Literally smells delicious. Ooh, that's a good aftertaste. Very, very opposite of the stuff that I normally drink from a Scotch perspective. But this is very, very smooth.
As you're sipping on it, I'm curious, are there 3 comedians you would like to share this drink with?
That's really, really good. Who would I share this with? Actually, you know what? I would love to share this with Carrot Top and with Larry the Cable Guy and with Chris Angel. Those are the 3 guys I would want to share this with.
Oh my God, that is that's like a trifecta of Las Vegas. You're doing stuff in Vegas now too.
Yeah, I am. You know what? I wasn't. Yeah, I got a residency. It was weird. I always knew I'd end up in Vegas at some point with a residency. I've been touring literally since 1994 when Rick Rubin told me, you got to go out on tour and find yourself. I started pretty much 50 weeks a year. And the only time that wasn't 50 weeks a year was kind of during Michter Mencia, when I couldn't, work as much because I had other commitments. But outside of that, it's literally been almost 50 weeks a year, every year since 1994 for almost 30 years. So to be able to go to a place and say, you know what? Come and see me in Vegas. I'm not going to be in Omaha, Nebraska this year. Come and see me in Vegas. Yeah, I'm not going to do Tucson this year. Come and see me in Vegas. That has been an energy that I haven't felt in a very long time. It's literally been a really, really great thing for me to be at Harrah's.
For the last one here, I sent you something really special to celebrate your career, everything you've shared here. Just absolutely appreciate you opening up and sharing it. Even the tapeworm story, I don't think I'll ever. I've never heard that one. That didn't come up in our research, so thank you for sharing. That was hopefully no tapeworms reveal themselves after today's tasting, but.
If they did, I'd be like, ooh, it's good stuff.
Yeah, but this is the last one.
It's a 46-year-old Glassglaugh.
That is about a $5,000 bottle.
It smells like it. It smells so different than all the others. So different. I've never smelled anything like this in my life, so I have no idea what this is going to taste like. Holy crap. Oh, man. Oh, that's smooth. This is by far the best Scotch that I've ever had.
Wow.
This is incredible. Well, it's $5,000 a bottle. Let's not be too surprised. It's not like we got some yak out back, bro. This is very expensive stuff. To be quite frank with you, this moment is when I go, wow, because of what I do for a living and how far I've come, I get to, for free, taste what a $5,000 bottle of Scotch tastes like just because I'm Carlos Mencia. This truly hits me in a very emotional place. This is something that had I led an ordinary, average life, I never would be in a space in time where I get to enjoy what I'm about to enjoy at this very moment. These are the moments where I get reminded of my effect on the world and the fact that I do want to affect the world. I do want to change the world. I do feel all of that. But right now, I'm just a little kid going, you're about to have a sip of a $5,000 bottle of some amazing Scotch. This is truly incredible. I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. What's the future like for Carlos Mencia?
Oh, God, that's so good. Lucky for everybody else, the future for me is I'm still trying to find the perfect show. I've been in search of the perfect show for, 1988, so going on 35, 36 years. Hopefully, knock on wood, I never find it, because I think that if I ever got off stage and said that was perfect, I don't know that I'd be inspired to go back on the stage again. If anything else, I think the surprise for most people is going to be who come and see me, the people that don't know about me, they'll just see me and live in the moment. The people that know me from, years or decades before, I think their big surprise is how I'm still excited about the things that I talk about. There's still that part of me that wants to impart not just a joke, not just the comedy, but to be able to say, did you guys know this? Have you ever looked at it from this perspective? That kind of stuff is so exciting to me still. As long as the world has incongruencies and things that don't make sense, I'm going to be there. As long as there's hypocrisy that needs to be pointed out, I'm going to be there. As long as people need to be told the positive side of all the negative that they hear, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is incredibly needed. It's cathartic. You are an absolute treasure. You're a gift to this country. I really do mean that. I'm not just saying that. I mean,
No, I believe it. It's hard to believe, but like I said, you took me to a beautiful childish place where I don't get to hang out very often. So that was my gift. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And man, I look forward to doing it again in person next time.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Thank you to Carlos Mencia. As always, the Fred Minnick Show is brought to you by BAXUS. All the bottles that we had here today, that Carlos sipped anyway, you can find on BAXUS. Go to baxus.co. And that's going to do it, Carlos.
If you have the 5Gs, man, go for that one. It's literally worth the money. And I don't say that's worth the money. That was, man, amazing. Thank you.
And now the price is going to go up because you said that. So
I hope so. That would be awesome. See, that would make me feel cocky. That's something that I would be like, they raised the price of the alcohol because I said it was good. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff does take me there. But anyway, thank you, man. I appreciate it.